Welcome into the DNVR Rockies Podcast, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, new customers, when you sign up using promo code DNVR, you can make a $5 bet, and when that bad boy wins, boom, $200 in bonus bets. That's with code DNVR only on DraftKings Sportsbook. I am Eric from D-Line.
And I'm Adam Mares. Welcome into the Denver Nuggets podcast.
Welcome. We will be talking basketball, but no, it's the DNVR Rockies podcast, and got Brendan Vogt to talk about the Cardinals, talk about baseball, pitch clock, triple doubles.
Whoa, but it's not what you think.
It's now a baseball thing because we decided it is.
We've got two versions of baseball triple doubles ready for you and some fun trivia.
We do. The news in Rockies camp, not good yesterday. They did lose their first game in spring training, so I know there was a lot of hype about the Rockies going like 40-0 in spring training. And then, you want to lose a couple actually during the regular season. Like you only want to win like, 130, 135 during the regular season.
That's right, yeah.
So it's probably good they got yesterday's loss out of the way, 6-4 to the Rangers. But probably the biggest loss was Brendan Rodgers getting hurt. And that was really disappointing. But the game started off with Austin Gomber having some struggles. This is spring training in a nutshell. Because Austin Gomber kind of gets hit around a little bit, only faces 8 batters, can only retire 2, and comes out of the game in the first. And then what do we do in the start of the second inning? He comes back out to start the inning because it's spring training.
Why not?
Why not? It doesn't matter. It's an exhibition. We're getting ready for the season.
I feel like pitchers, too, of all people, are working their rust off in this time, and it's funny when you listen to them talk about those outings, they almost never talk about the results, Yeah. In spring training, it's a very process sort of oriented reflection, which just gives you an idea of where they're at in the early season.
Yeah, that's a good segue because he did have a high pitch count, did have a bit of a lack of command. But here's actually Austin Gomber, a very upbeat Austin Gomber, talking about that performance that results-wise wasn't great. He's feeling pretty good about it, and here's why.
There you go.
I want to know more about a pitch that works better at altitude than this elevation, and how do you know that it's working when you're working on it during spring training?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of different things that go into it. Spin and vertical break is going to be muted or pushed down a little bit when you go up to altitude, and then obviously you're going to see more results. Closer to sea level you are, the more vertical break you're going to get on your pitches. I've always been a guy that at sea level I've kind of, even the last 2 years, have had no issue kind of with the fastball. More fastball struggles for me have been in Coors because when we get there, my vertical break is lower and it kind of goes more towards, league average. So trying to find a way to combat that. So we started messing with a 2-seam sinker type grip, started throwing that, kind of got the feedback that even not sea level but Arizona level, I was able to take off 6-7 inches of vertical break. Hopefully when we get to altitude, that'll continue to come down and it'll be able to create some separation from my other pitches. It's not perfect science, right? We don't know for sure that that's what's going to happen, but that's kind of the trend of that everybody's kind of seen the last few years at Coors is when you go to altitude, vertical break kind of goes there to die. So how can we combat that? Let's try to start with less vertical break and kind of make it more of a true sinker. It's obviously complicated, but I definitely think we're getting kind of the feedback we want and just continue to work on it. Nobody's really perfected pitching at Coors Field. So we're just trying to find ways and little advantages to get better and find ways to have success and find different things that work for you.
Gomber was frustrated last year, and rightfully so. The results weren't there. He moved to the bullpen, and he can wear his arm on his sleeve.
Yeah.
No, not his arm on his
heart.
Sleeve. Yeah, he wears his heart on his arm, his sleeve on his heart.
You wear your arms in your sleeves.
Yeah, he wears his advertising patch on his heart as well.
There you go.
Because he's a loyal company man. But you can tell when he's a little frustrated. And even again, after that outing, he looked pretty good.
We were joking.
Who cares? Who cares what happened?
Yeah, that's true. But it is so fascinating, man. We were talking before the show about how sort of cliche altitude questions can be and stuff like that. There's an example of how it's actually still fascinating, and how at the top level these guys are having to essentially restructure the approach, right? Like reinvent a pitch or just take a fundamentally different approach with the pitch. That's a very frustrating thing. You've spent your whole career, trying to get it right a certain way. And as he said, like, what a very complicated concept to just sort of change the way your sinker is moving. It's not an enviable position,
Yeah, and his curveball worked for him really well in the Texas League, in the International League when he was with the Cardinals. Gets on immediately, says, yeah, I'd throw my curveball on the moon. Well, we're about to find out to see what it does at Coors Field. But the other thing that he said, which was kind of interesting, talking about like new wrinkles and fresh perspectives, this is something that actually Rockies pitchers can have to their advantage. No one's figured it out yet.
Right.
There have been a couple of those really solid seasons. I was talking with somebody yesterday about Joe Kennedy. Give it a Google. Go on Baseball Reference. Joe Kennedy, one of the top 5 best seasons by a starting pitcher. Yeah, it was like, greater than 4 ERA, and no one talks about him, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But there aren't those dominant seasons that you say, oh, I would like to be like that guy. There's not a ton of them. So you know what? It's actually okay to go out there and try some new things. And the level of failure that's acceptable is a lot higher than anywhere else. And
right, that's
hey,
true.
I was good with my 4.5 ERA. Like that's good. Like that is some success at Coors Field. So Gomber realizes that. And that's good that he's not too disappointed by that. Charlie Blackmon homered in this game. Ezequiel Tovar, Cole Tucker also got on the board with a home run. Tovar added a single. He had 2 RBI, but as we said earlier, the story of the game was Brendan Rodgers, Gold Glove Award winner last year. Stole a lot of base hits. A lot of the defensive metrics really liked him. The metrics also showed he did a really good job laying out for balls, diving for balls, mostly to his left. On this play, he's diving to his right. Shoulder popped out of the socket. Bud Black, a little bit hopeful. Here he is talking about the injury to Brendan Rodgers in yesterday's game against the Rangers.
The shoulder joint, it popped out on him, and they put it back in. So not unlike Jonathan Daza last year or other players that, where his shoulder, pops out of the joint. So we'll see tomorrow in the coming days. I think that's probably more likely. We'll know something more, in the coming days of how, the degree of the trauma in the joint.
Did they pop that back in on the field?
Yeah, that's quite common. That's what happens.
Suzie getting into it. Do they pop it back in?
On the spot.
You got to know, right? I've never had that happen. That's such a badass thing, and you see it in movies.
Me too. And I always thought it would happen to me. I played enough sports growing up. I'm like, one day they'll have to pop a finger back in. Ooh. It'll be my big tough moment. Never happened.
No.
Never happened.
No.
So what's the? I know he said they don't know. I mean, like with the Daza thing, how long did that take? Like, what's the timeline?
He came back relatively quickly.
That's what I thought. That's
now,
a quick turnaround.
The first time that happened to Daza, I think it was 2018 when he was in the minors. Randomly watched a minor league game. He's diving into home plate. It happens. And I'm like, all right, I probably should not be watching live games anymore. And that sidelined him for like the final couple months of the season. Last year that happened. He was doing so well. And it seemed like he was back within a month. And so it's probably going to be a few weeks here. There's still a chance he could even, start opening day. He's obviously just going to have a lot shorter of a spring training and kind of do the spring training thing, get his reps in during the start of the season. So he might be a little bit behind for that reason. That was something he definitely wanted to kind of kill that story and that narrative on this year since he struggled so badly in April of last year. And so he's gonna have to work a little bit harder to do that, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens right now with him. Could open up a roster spot. Is it Alan Trejo? Harold Castro already seems to be the utility guy on this roster, but maybe Cole Tucker. And as you know, Mr. Vanessa Hudgens as well. I did not talk to him about that. I won't be talking to him about that.
I figured that's not quite your bag.
That's not the form.
No.
Actually, really.
It's not what Patrick's out there to learn about.
No, I don't think so. Zach Veen did start in center field in that game yesterday for the first time in his professional career. Now, he said on the field on Saturday, so everyone in the entire organization has said he's a corner outfielder, he's a corner outfielder. Because of his size that he's going to grow into, he should stay there. There's also a ton of, really good defensive center fielders in the organization already, so you might as well just get him acclimated to one of the corners. He did say on Saturday, I like center field. And then, I don't know if that was the catalyst or what, or maybe this has been the game plan for the Rockies all along, saying the right things. But yesterday, he did start in center field for the first time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him.
How many outfielders truly don't like center field, just a little bit. I think they all like to think in the back of their minds they could do it.
Yeah. Center field is actually easier than a lot of the corner positions.
But it's flashy though. It's a flat. You know what I mean? You get to be your Jim Edmonds out there.
I was gonna say, coming from the guy who saw Jim Edmonds looking at the ball, not moving for the first 3 seconds and being like,
just
okay,
milking
now
every bit. He was such a milker.
Edmonds milk. That should be a product.
Oh, man.
He needs to buy a dairy, I think.
He got in
the
broadcast booth and he's revealed himself to be totally insufferable. So he's plummeting down my favorite.
Really?
My favorite, yeah.
He's doing the opposite of A-Rod.
Yes,
A-Rod's
exactly.
been pretty good in the booth. He's been enjoyable.
He's done the opposite. Edmonds is no longer my favorite.
Ryan Feltner does start the game today at 1:10 at Salt River Fields. Last night was a big day. We dropped a new shirt, new merch over at DNVRlocker.com, place where diehards can get 20% off all the gear, 20% off watch parties, party buses. We've got one going on April 29th against the Diamondbacks. So,
dude, that's going to be great.
You're going to the game for a win. So that's a nice. Actually, the Diamondbacks are pretty good.
Knock on wood.
But I'll let Bud Black know what's going on, and so he'll make sure to have Freeland go. He's like, we're going to give him like 7 days rest so we can start on that Saturday game for us. Die Hard only Discord we got going on, 15% off your tab. Those are the perks. But new shirt drops for Nikola Jokic's 100th triple-double.
Yeah, check that one out. Not since Wilt with the scars are popping on that one. It's a great look from D-Line. I do want to say really quickly though, the taking the fans to the game experience. Baseball is so built for this. So I do really hope that everyone hops on that and turns that into the experience it could be, because that sounds awesome to me.
You get like a shirt, there's going to be a voucher for food and stuff. So, I mean,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. We're probably going to come back here for a show. You can jump on set, do that whole thing.
Oh, dude, what a treat.
That'll be so much fun. I said this last year around this time, that Nikola Jokic may already be the greatest athlete in Denver history. Here we are a year later, and I'm feeling even better about that statement. Do you think Nikola Jokic is, simply put, in the question, the greatest athlete in Denver history right now?
I think he's as good as his game as any athlete in Denver has been. I think most Denverites are going to need to see a title to feel that way, particularly because some of the great Avs and Broncos, John Elway of the past. But yes, Jokic is of that ilk, dude. That's who we're watching. That's what we're talking about. It's been such a treat.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's right there, obviously. So this morning it made me think, triple-double, those are two baseball words.
That's
Triples,
right.
Doubles. Why not? So, of course, had to punch in the old Patty Stats machine. Cue the graphic. Oh, we'll get one. But what player has the most games of hitting just a triple in just a double? So all time, it's Stan Musial. 4 of the top 5 guys who have done it are Hall of Famers. Stan Musial, good day for you to come on. He's a Cardinal.
He's probably the GOAT. Probably the GOAT Cardinal.
The man.
Probably the GOAT Cardinal.
Absolutely is. He is. So he had 24 of those. Rockies history, a lot of people reached out on Twitter and said, could it be this guy, Eric Young Sr.? A couple of people even said Eric Young Jr. was a common one. What is your guess for which Rocky has the most games where they got 2 hits, 1 triple, 1 double?
All right, I'm wondering, is it Mr. Rocky himself? Is it Charlie Blackmon?
Oh, you're calling him Mr. Rocky?
Is that
this generation?
For the current team.
Yes.
For the current team.
You'd be right. 9. This guy here.
My guess was Jamie Carroll.
Oh, good guess.
Okay.
Good guess.
He played for the team? I like that guess.
And then next up, are we looking at Larry Walker?
You're going to try to run the table?
Larry Walker?
He's in the top 5. He's tied for 4th. He did 4 times.
Does Dexter Fowler sneak in there?
He's tied for 2nd.
Oh, boy.
With 5. So you've got 3 of the top 5.
I don't know if I can.
The other 2 are gettable. Brendan, the other 2 are gettable. No, I like that. He had some triples in his game. So think about, Fowler wasn't around that long for the Rockies, but Blackmon, long ass time. Walker, long ass time.
Todd Helton? Does Todd Helton?
Todd Helton also tied for 4th on the list. He did it 4 times, having a triple double, the baseball variety.
Baseball triple
and then
double.
there's one more guy who did it 5 times.
Oh man. Now I'm reaching like Cargo.
Don't reach too hard.
Willie Taveras.
Good guess. Cargo, that's a great guess.
Okay.
No.
I'm out after that.
It is Trevor Story.
Trevor Story.
It
wow.
is Trevor Story.
Ah.
He's not bad.
Lest you thought we were just reveling in the past, a little dose of pain for you all there.
That's it. And then you said, Well, how about triple doubles?
Yes.
3 doubles.
3 doubles.
In a game, at least of any variety or more. Want to take a guess at who that might be?
No, goodness.
We've said their names. I'm glad you didn't say Jamie Carroll. No.
Also, I'm a huge Jamie Carroll guy. That was my favorite player growing up.
I'm learning that.
Clearly.
Like,
Yeah.
that was my guy when I was growing up. Jamie,
Wow.
Most random Denver athlete ever. And I'm like, yeah, Jamie Carroll, he deserved his ring.
Wow. You know, we have an ongoing bit where if someone comes in wearing a black vest, for Rocky's black vest, because can't really get him anymore now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If they're wearing a number 17 Ezequiel Tovar black vest, which he's never worn because he came up after that, you get a free beer here at the bar from Suzie or I. We'll do that. If you wear a Todd Hollandsworth City Connect jersey, which, again, he wasn't around for the City Connect. I'm thinking if you have a Jamie Carroll, even a Jamie Carroll jersey, that's you get a beer, and so does you here.
And so, yeah.
So you hear we're gonna get you one if you're wearing some Carroll swag.
I think it might have been because wasn't he the one that hit the ball for Matt Holliday to reach first touch home in
Yes.
that playoff game, the wild card.
Everyone clearly has the vivid memories of Matt Holliday slapping home plate.
But
his entire hand in the center of home plate, leaving without a shadow of a doubt that he did in fact touch home plate. But the man who hit that ball, the sacrifice fly, Jamie Carroll.
And he was also really good in that playoff run, by the way.
I love that Yaya knows that.
Dude, everybody's like Matt Holliday. I'm like, but Jamie Carroll got it up. Without Jamie Carroll getting it up, you don't got that. You don't
That's
got that
true.
win.
That's
I can't refute that at all. Cargo and Charlie Blackmon have done it 3 times.
Okay, there you go.
The Brendan Vogt triple double.
Brendan Vogt triple-double.
That's what that's going to have to be at that point. I like how we're phrasing that, and they are phrasing things really well over on RotoWire.
Look at you.
Have you ever had one of your tweets or comments go out on RotoWire as a tip for basketball fantasy players?
Actually, possibly, yes. I think
You
that's
gotta look it
possible.
up.
Yeah. I think so.
They're big supporters of us over here at
look at
DNVR
that.
Sports. You got to check that out. Yeah, I always like looking and seeing that get picked up. So again, if you're a fantasy player and you need to know
They probably
what's
pick
going
up
on with
wins
who,
tweets, but whatever.
yeah, come on.
Whatever.
Spread the love around a little bit. But RotoWire spreading the love out for you guys, because if you head over to rotowire.com/DNVR, they got a special right now for 2-day trial for listeners. What's really cool about it is they're incredibly confident that you're going to like their product. You don't have to put a credit card in. It's not one of those where, oh, it's a free trial, and then if you totally forget about this thing that you signed up, now you're locked in for probably like 4 years before you realize, wait, what is this on my credit card bill? RotoWire's not pulling anything like that. They're confident that they're going to hook you up with some really good cheat sheets for your fantasy baseball season, custom player rankings to fit all leagues of all varieties. So depending on what your league is valuing most, you can actually figure out, hey, this guy has a lot more value than in any other league because we might be double counting a certain statistic. And RotoWire has a great way of kind of getting you set up so that you're starting out with a lot of success in your fantasy league. They do golf, soccer. I used them last year for soccer to win our DNVR Sports League. You hear? Come on. I ran the table last year.
He did run the table, I'm not going to lie.
I learned a lot about it. I was like, okay, Sebastian Druisi, he's very good. Thank you, RotoWire.
The table was ran, and it was Patrick doing the running.
I think I lost one, and then I tied one. And so, but again, that's all due to RotoWire.
You mean Drew?
Maybe.
Drew
Oh,
won.
what did I say? I tied?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. We drew.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
He was like, who was it? What does Goodman have?
Yeah, yeah.
Anything?
It's
Drew
like-
Butera?
Yeah.
No.
Drew?
Yeah,
Drew?
and they're doing the XFL too, which is really neat.
Oh, that's
like
dope.
again, that's how you learn players. Like when I first got into soccer like a decade ago, I was like, I want to get into fantasy leagues and then learn about points. Hey, this guy's undervalued, or
Very
this
true,
guy
man.
just got picked up,
Very
transfer.
true.
It makes a lot of sense. So if you're really looking to get in on the action now to learn, especially about the young guys that are coming up for the Rockies when they make their debut, how much of an impact are they going to make right away? It's fantastic. Again, they got the draft kits, custom start, sit, add, drop, trade advice, lineup optimizers. Again, go to rotowire.com/DNVR to take a peek behind the paywall. And again, when your trial's done, you can pick the right package for you. I love that. Baseball season is the time right now. So for DraftKings Sportsbook, you got to make a $5 bet. And when that bad boy hits, $200 in bonus bets instantly if you win. You can bet on spring training games.
That's
awesome.
That is awesome. How does one do that though?
It's just
Like, how does one win those bets is what I'm driving at.
if you're team scores more runs than the other team. It's
Sure.
that simple.
Oh, it's that simple at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Simple. Yes.
America's top-rated sportsbook.
That's it. Well, that's the thing with the Rockies right now is when the starters come out of the game, those young guys that are coming in are still putting their foot on the pedal.
That's a good point.
They're still
That's a good
revving it up.
point.
And they're all AA, AAA guys that are also
Right.
really good, that are better than the other team's AA and AAA guys. It's one of the reasons why the Rockies are off to a 3-1 start. Again, spring training, obviously pump the brakes. The Rogers injury is really bad for them if he's going to miss a lot of time. But if you're doing the spring training betting, I think the Rockies could win a handful of games.
Some late inning talent in those.
Yes.
All right, that's an interesting.
Absolutely. They've got the NBA no sweat same game parlays, which I know you know plenty about.
Yes, I once won a 10-leg same game parlay, and that was about a year ago, and I haven't stopped talking about it since.
You shouldn't stop.
100% profit boost on that bad boy too. But with the no sweat ones, you can just place one and you don't have to worry if you lose, because even if you do, DraftKings is hooking you up with a free bet. That's right.
That's perfect. Yeah.
What a treat.
You
So
can't
easy.
beat that. I like a no lose situation.
Oh, I'm a big fan of no lose situations.
You hedge your bets where maybe you put some money down on the opposing team of your favorite team or club. And then if your team wins, guess what? Your team just won. You still feel good.
That's right.
So you can hedge your bets with DraftKings. They're going to take care of you in that way. So again, sign up using promo code DNVR, where a $5 bet can become $200 in bonus bets instantly when you win. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
So smooth with those ad reads, Patrick. So smooth.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also,
All right.
real quick, if you're listening in Ohio, void Ohio.
Void in Ohio.
Yeah. Part
Where-
of that, yeah.
That's NL Central territory. That's important to note. So if you're a Reds fan, you probably know the story of Joey Mappo. Brendan, do you know about Joey Mappo?
No.
Any guesses who Joey Mappo could be the alter ego for?
Oh, Joey Votto.
Yes.
Joey Votto.
Apparently, that's been an ongoing thing where he'll send videos of himself. This was kind of like before he was on TikTok shaking his
Oh,
booty.
that's right.
He would
right.
take
Because he's
dance
online
videos.
now.
He
He's
is.
very online.
He's out there. And
I've learned to love him, by the way.
he is great. He's helping his image. I think even during the pandemic when he was hurt, he was jumping in the broadcast booth, doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's an article on The Athletic where there was a whole article, written by C. Trent Rosecrans about these stories that former teammates told about Joey Votto. And so now this year the update is, all right, Joey, do you want to comment on these stories? It's like, yeah, that did happen. And so, yeah, he likes to take videos of
been
himself mopping around. And that's a lot of fun. Did you hear about the handshake gate with the Cardinals manager, Ollie Marmol?
Can you fill me in on the details, Patrick? I've been NBA'd lately.
So Ollie didn't do anything wrong. He went out to home plate to shake the umpire's hands, and CB Buckner said, psych.
Oh.
He would not shake his hand. He was still pissed off about something from last season.
What?
The other umpires were like, yeah, no, you should be shaking his hand. The next day, I guess they patched it up, and CB Buckner said, okay, yeah, I will shake your hand, but that's just strange that you're going to hold.
That's some
Hold that
grade A
over.
grudge holding right there.
Man.
That's some hating, actually.
That's a lot.
That's hating.
Yeah, I mean, these guys can get over things, and they typically do kind of quickly, or at least over an off season, because they're in the same industry. That's the thing. Even if you don't like someone, you know
Right.
you got to work with them.
That's the thing.
And it's like they're on opposite sides when they're on the field, and then the other 99% of their life,
Correct.
they're on the same side because they are inside the baseball industry.
And you never know, too. Like, there's a lot of turnover, man. You never know who's gonna be in an organization with you at one point or anything like that.
That's right.
Man, that's crazy. That's some grade A grudge holding. Unbelievable. I never hold a grudge, ever.
So then that means you're very cool with Matt Holliday then.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Hey, he's got family things to take care of.
Jason Tatum?
I was wondering if you would bring that up.
That's the one that
I was
can
actually
think
wondering
about.
if you were. I was
Yeah.
just checking if you were paying
I
attention.
listen
Okay,
to
there
the
you
show.
go.
I listen
Hey,
to all their shows.
Matt Holliday, obviously a combined legend in our eyes. Nothing but love for Matt Holliday.
Yeah.
Nothing but love.
Yeah, he's got to take
Make
care of his
whatever
family.
choices you got to make.
It didn't work out, so be it. Hey, maybe the Rockies can swoop in and have him possibly as their hitting coach at some point, and then also play too. Why not? Like get in the lineup one day, old school style. Or if you're short a player, I guess we'll look up to the coaching staff. Bud Black can go an inning if you need
Why
to.
not?
Holiday can get out there. The Manny Machado deal, 11 years, $350 million. He had an opt out after this year, and $170 million of new money the Padres are handing over to him. Nolan Arenado has to be thinking, or maybe not, wait, why did I just say I'm going to just keep my contract for what it is?
I have no idea why he did that.
I don't know either. It doesn't make sense.
I think he gets, just obviously wondering, I've never even talked to him. I think he gets strangely kind of principled about this stuff. You know what I mean? And like the direction of the Rockies org, and then he gets to the Cardinals org, and well, all right, maybe they didn't win yet, but everyone's moving in the same direction and doing what we need to do, and he wants to be a part of that, and so he just, yes, I'm in. I don't even need to opt out, but dude, they would have had to pay you, or someone else would have. So I thought that was a strange choice. I'm grateful for it, but I was definitely surprised by that.
Especially because he can go to another contender. It's not like nobody wants him.
All right, dude, he
That's
just had a
true, too.
great season away from Coors. I mean, you got to think that the in a vacuum value is as high as it's ever been, or close to it. So why?
right.
I just thought it was an interesting choice. I'll take it, though.
Yeah, I think because of the money that the Rockies are sending over, St. Louis was like, well, actually, if we tear this deal up, we can't give you that much more because
Right.
if we're giving you more, we're giving you our money now instead of the Rockies' money. So it's like it's a wash. So you're gonna
Yeah,
get the
man.
exact same amount if we rip that up. And I think, you know, to your point, he wants to win and he's comfortable and doesn't maybe want to be labeled as one of those guys who's you know a hired merchant to go out there and play for a club like that, and so yeah, he's comfortable. That's where his family is. That's where his daughter was born now. So he's enjoying the dad vibes. I do like that. The Dodgers. We haven't talked about this offseason. The Dodgers are going to be retiring Fernando Valenzuela's number 34.
Oh, wow.
And he's not a Hall of Famer. Not really close. If you look at JAWS, which is a metric that quantifies Hall of Fame players, I was looking at Nikola Jokic, where he's like at 75%. I was like a Hall of Famer right now in his career if he stopped. So that kind of bodes well. So there are all those kind of metrics. So he's like 171st best starting pitcher of all time.
Right.
So not a Hall of Famer, but one of the best of the 1980s, fourth most wins. During the 1980s, was the heart and soul for the Dodgers. And, and ultimately when you retire a number, I think a lot of it is for the fans.
Totally, man.
The funny thing is when I looked and they announced what day it was, I go, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh, no.
It's when the Rockies are in town.
Classic.
Dodgers taking care of their guys, retiring a number with the Rockies in town to kind of show, hey, you don't have to be a Hall of Famer to recognize the greats of your organization.
He might be the actual best case for what the retired numbers or Ring of Honor or whoever.
Right.
That's the exact type of player you're hoping to enshrine and celebrate, particularly because they fall short of being enshrined forever in the Hall. But anyone who was around in the moment knows, like, an essential part of the team's history and character of the fandom.
Yeah, when you're talking about baseball in the 1980s for the Dodgers, he's an integral part of that.
Integral.
Won the Rookie of the Year award and Cy Young award in the same season, 1981.
And just one of those
crazy.
One of those guys that even today young baseball players will learn about at some point.
Oh, yeah.
You'll hear his name even in 2023. So that's actually really cool. But of course the Rockies get to be there.
And he was the greatest Mexican-born pitcher of all time. Rockies have the greatest Mexican-born hitter of all time in Vinny Castilla. Both those guys in the Mexican Baseball Hall of Fame. Vinny could be one of those guys. Cargo, obviously. I asked Monfort about Charlie Blackmon. We'll see what happens if he gets traded this season, which there's potential for that, believe it or not. But number 19, I think, deserves to go up there. Because, again, yes, it's about the player, but it's also about the fans who go to the ballpark and say, cool, Larry Walker, cool, Todd Helton, I've heard of them. But anyone else from 2007 or the last 15, 20 years, there's not a ton of those.
Yeah.
Not a ton of that representation,
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to get that figured out. Pins and Aces have it figured out because they've got this amazing beer sleeve where it looks like one of your clubs, with the little top on it, the head cover, and you can put 7 cans of seltzer, 7 cans of beer. It'll keep it cool for you, so you don't get price gouged there at the 19th hole. You can have a good time. They have amazing gear as well. They've got all these different kind of colorways, even Rockies ones. Really cool looking hats. It's a Colorado company. We love pairing with them. They're amazing. And again, the beer sleeve is kind of that clutch thing. I think that alone will probably turn some people into golf fans. If you know that you can carry your own stuff on you, Boom.
You know what the best part of the beer sleeve is? What's a conventional amount of beers you might buy at the store and take with you? A 6-pack, right?
Yeah.
It's a normal number. Screw 6. Let's get a 7th beer in there.
That's it.
I love the beer sleeve, man.
And that's what you're playing for. If whoever's you're sharing the cart with, you each get 3, and then where does it come out? Hole number 7. We're battling for the 7th one in the Pins and Aces beer sleeve. Head over to pinsandaces.com and make sure you use code DNVR to receive 15% off your first order, and you get free shipping on top of that too.
Oh, how nice is that?
That's Pins and Aces. Backus and Schenker. When you get hurt, Backus and Schenker is here to help. They're everywhere to help. Buses, benches. I always pop all the time too, Brendan, whenever I see a Backus and Schenker ad read. I'm like, those are my folks.
Those are my
people.
guys. 222, 22. Just start yelling that at strangers.
It's all Tulos. It's all Tulos.
Tulos.
It does sound like you're firing a ray gun.
222.
If you've been injured by a ray gun or a car accident or motorcycle or ride share, boom, Backus and Schenker can help you out. There's no upfront fees. They're helping everyone who's been seriously injured by the ray guns or otherwise. They work on your case for free. They work, in fact, until they win money for you. They've won over $1 billion for folks, probably because they have a really strong team, 30 lawyers and 100 folks on staff. They are here to win for you. Again, call them at all Troy Tulowitzkis, or of the modern era, all Dazas. Jonathan Daza, number 2, 222-2222. Find out if you've got a case for free, because Backus and Schenker wins. It's fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, we've got Suzie Hunter calling in from Salt River Fields down in Scottsdale with all the news that's room to fit on our screen right now. And so there she is. She's fitting on our screen.
Hi, I am.
How are we doing today, Suzie?
I'm good. It's a little chilly out today. We're hoping to get this game in before it rains. But other than that, a beautiful day. Lots happening. A lot happened yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of news to get to. We talked about Austin Gomber to start with, of course. Were you surprised almost how good-natured he was after that performance? Because he can get down and he can get frustrated, but it was a good reminder. It's spring training. The results really don't matter all that much. What was your thoughts to kind of hear how positive he was after that outing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't know what to expect because these guys are so competitive. They want to be at their absolute best. So heading down to talk to Austin Gomber after that outing, or after those 2 outings, rather, such an interesting day. I was expecting him to be in a rough mood, and he really seemed unfazed because he is working on pitches that are going to be at their best when they're at altitude. But of course, we're not at the Denver altitude here. So he's trying to perfect the pitching at Coors Field. No one's perfected it yet, but he was in good spirits after that outing.
Yeah, Buddy, has said that he's in the rotation. Like, that's a done deal. So I think, again, knowing that information allows Gomber to say, okay, I'm in this rotation. That's good. But Brendan Rodgers out of the rotation with the shoulder injury. Kind of scary yesterday. I mean, you were there witnessing it and watching Scott Murayama, the trainer and rehab coordinator for the Rockies, run out on the field to help support him. What did you see on that play? What have you heard around Rockies camp about Brendan Rodgers and how long he might be out for here?
Yeah, we still don't know the timetable right now, but in the moment of that injury, it was so early in the game, Brendan Rodgers makes one of those diving catches that he makes all the time. So it seemed pretty routine, but he never got up. So he's laying on the ground for several minutes. His teammates came over, our trainers came over. One of the Rangers trainers came out too to help out. So we were definitely concerned, but apparently it's a dislocated shoulder. They popped it back in on the field, as we know is customary. Jonathan Daza can do it himself. I think Brendan Rodgers got a little bit of help with it. Why not? But from everything I have heard, it seems like the examinations that happened after that injury, the results have been kind of promising. He got an MRI this morning. We have no idea what that MRI found, but we're hoping for very minimal lasting damage from, the act of your shoulder dislocating and then popping it back in. Hopefully just a couple of weeks. Buddy doesn't seem too concerned right now. So I will delay my concern for a little bit until we know more about the MRI.
Yeah, it's probably too soon with an injury like this, because I kind of know most of the people that are in that room in Buddy's office in the morning to immediately go, okay, let's move on. Hey, who's now, who's going to get more playing time at second base, unless that did happen. But, again, we know Cole Tucker, who actually came into the game at that point and did homer after the Rogers injury on the Robbie Grossman ground ball in the first inning. We could see Alan Trejo now as a candidate to slide in there, possibly at second base. But we do want Rogers to be okay. I know you also caught up. One of the assignments that you were hoping to accomplish down there was talking with the guys who's going to get an advantage with the pitch clock, and you got the words from one of the top guys there in the Rockies clubhouse.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask Charlie Blackmon about this because he has been around longer than anyone in terms of the Rockies. But I wanted to know what his take was. And he thought about it for a second. He wasn't expecting this question. But he seems to lean towards this benefiting batters, the pitch clock benefiting batters more than pitchers, because pitching is so hard. We know how hard it is, especially at Coors Field. The pitchers have all kinds of little routines to slow down the game. And now that those aren't in their in their grasp, now that they can't use all of those, he thinks that the advantage is going to be for batters. I need to ask some more pitchers about this too. I'm still conducting this research, but it's an interesting time to be down here at spring training with all of these new changes that just really affect every aspect of the game.
That's, and maybe we'll get to it a little bit with, the pitch clock. There's also the pickoff plays, right? It's now called disengagement. You're disengaging from the rubber. So you can still do that. So if you give up a single and, there's a lot more cardio in it, like what Susie's saying, you can't catch your breath now. So you're throwing pitch after pitch after pitch. You want to catch your breath, you can't. Well, if you give up a single, you do actually have a moment to kind of have a timeout. You step off the back of the mound, take a deeper breath, but that's now essentially counts as a pickoff. So now you only have one more of those before you got to get the guy at first base. Another reason why we could see that running game going. But you're right. I think there will be an interesting advantage for hitters in that way. And an advantage for the Rockies at home because they're at altitude and you can't catch your breath as quickly when you've got to throw pitch after pitch every 15, 20 seconds as well. So that could be an advantage for the Rockies this season.
Yeah, we're going to see some winded visiting pitchers for sure at Coors Field this season.
Zach Veen was in center field yesterday. How did he look graceful? Was he gazelle-like? What was the outlook? I don't know if he got too many plays out there in center yesterday, but got his first start as a pro in center field.
Yeah, you know what? We were running around so much. I really did not get as good of a look as I wanted to get at Zach Veen, but I did see him after the game. His whole family was there, so it's nice that he got to show off for his family.
Yeah, he did. That's fantastic. The thing I want you to keep an eye out for today, because I talked about this a little bit, maybe on Monday or Friday when I called in. No, it wasn't. Must have been Monday. Talked about it with PHNX. The ball boys, ball girls, bat boys, bat girls. They've got to really bust their hump. There was a moment on Saturday's game, and this is Salt River Fields, where these kids are running full sprint to grab a bat or to give the umpire a new ball, and the pitcher's ready to go. Ty Block threw a pitch with a kid still on the field, almost directly behind home plate. Not Ty Block's problem, right? He's got to deliver. The Mets have said that they are going to bring their bat person on the road with them. The Dodgers already do that. So there's going to be some combine, some bat boy training combines, because you got to bust your hump. You got to run out to second base if the guy's got a shin guard or an elbow pad and then run back, or run down to the first base coach who now has the shin guard. And you're going to be getting a lot of exercise doing that. So keep an eye out. There's going to be any incidents today, Suzie, because we're still figuring this thing out. It's still less than a week old.
It is so funny how just all the little things that this decision has trickled into. And I think Phillies had a bat boy issue the other day with Trey Turner. So we got to keep an eye on this. There is way too much going on, so many changes. And how can we even wrap our minds around these right now?
Make sure you factor that into your research, though, across the season, Suzie. I want to hear from some bat boys and bat girls, okay? I want to know how their lives got harder.
Yeah.
I think someone made the joke on Twitter, like, oh, the bat boy in the Phillies game didn't make it in time, so they executed him. So I'm like, okay, yeah, start with fair.
That seems fair, yeah.
Yeah, Coco Montes is going to need to... Coco Montes will need to share his smoothie with those people, because, again, you're getting that workout. You got to replenish those kind of calories. That's going to be an important thing to do. Yeah, it's interesting. Beat the freeze now in Atlanta. Freeze might just be the one that has to go and get the ball. Suzie, you might need to place a phone call on behalf of the Rockies to the Eastern League, because I know in the past they've had a golden retriever. I know the Trenton Thunder did run out to grab a bat and then come back. We might need to get some animals involved in this if we're going to keep the game going really quick to grab a bat. Am I right?
You know what? If the pitch clock will allow us to have more bat dogs, I think that is a win for everyone. That is a win for Major League Baseball. That will get numbers up for sure.
That's how you make baseball better. You did it, Suzie.
We did it.
We
here
did
on
it.
The DNVR Rockies podcast.
More action, shorter games, more entertainment,
More animals.
pitch clock, bat dog. That's it. And you know what? We can even leave it open to other animals too. Why not? Why does it just need to be dogs? Well, we'll have to again, another thing to investigate. Suzie, you're very busy down there. You might need to go back down for another week coming up here soon for more of your investigative reporting.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's schedule it.
All right, Suzie. Well, enjoy the game there today. What do you think? Same time tomorrow? This is going well.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Hopefully I have more to report on my very intensive research.
I love it. Well, you know the number. It's 222-2222 for the DNVR Rockies hotline / if you've been injured or hurt by a bat dog in your area. So we will talk to you tomorrow, Suzie. Have a great day.
Bye, Suzie. I miss you.
Thank you. Miss you guys.
That was good. Yeah, I'm down for the bat dogs. I think there's potential for that.
That'd be a great way to add a character to every ballpark around the. You all have your own dog. You have to find your own animal, your own bat animal.
How about all 30 teams would need their own breed? So that's the thing is that I mean, in Tampa and Miami, you're like, oh, we got a bat croc. Those things don't move very quickly.
Well, it depends. When they're motivated, they can. But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that. We need regionally appropriate. What would be the best Colorado one?
That's what I'm saying. What's the Colorado dog?
Fox.
I think
Fox. Oh yeah, we had the foxes stop by.
Exactly.
the foxes.
Yeah.
They're already there. Just train them.
Bat fox.
Ethan says bat bats.
Bat bats, not bad. Bat cats.
I mean, they have to be on the juice. The bat bats can be on PEDs to get them sizable enough to go ahead and grab the bats. Logan, bat cats.
What about bat dinosaurs? We already have a bat. We already have a dinosaur as a mascot. Just get a bat dinosaur.
Just finding the live ones is the trouble, yeah. But I like where your head's at.
No, just use Stinger. He's already out there.
Yeah.
The Montforts do spend money on the payroll, but I don't know that they've got Jurassic Park kind of money.
Yeah.
I want to just have the guy's name, John. I know his name was John. from
Hammond,
Jurassic
right?
Park.
Is that right?
John Hammond?
Is Hammond right?
We did
Sounds
it.
right.
You know what? I'm going to say we were right.
Let's run with it.
Yeah, they don't have John Hammond money to go ahead and bring the dinosaurs back for something like that.
That's what they want you to believe, Patrick.
But that could work. No, there's a dog that seems very popular out here. Rescue dogs. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like a mutt, right? Rescue dog. But there's a type of shepherd that's like black and white, has like white face, low to the ground. I feel like that's very common. That's a good dog for people who like to run the trails. That's like a really great dog to have with you. Some kind of shepherd. I'm not sure.
Like a collie or a shepherd. All right.
Maybe.
All right. What about in Texas? They could have bat armadillos. I'm trying to think of the ones that wouldn't work.
Bat dillos.
Bat dillos.
That could work.
Yeah. All right. I like this.
We're workshopping
Good stuff.
We will figure it out.
Would New York be a bat rat?
Oh, a bat rat.
Bat
Yes,
rat.
you nailed that.
Bat
one.
rat for sure.
It's easily the bat
Especially
rat.
at City Field. They get the rat for sure.
Also in the chat, the Bernese Mountain Dog. That's also
Not bad.
that's popular.
Not bad.
That could work. I mean, we've got Bernie for the Avs.
There you go.
But that's slightly different, and it could be a copyright infringement. We'll see if the Crunkies will have a lawsuit. We've had enough lawsuits with copyright infringements around here.
Yeah,
So maybe we need to steer
everyone
clear
just chill out.
of the Bernese Mountain Dog. Have you heard, Brendan? Have you heard about the Great Coors Field Caper?
Nope.
During the 2020 pandemic season, there were a bunch of jerseys that were stolen, and all trails pointed back to Coors Field. This was a story that just broke on Monday. Stephanie Apstein does an amazing job for Sports Illustrated. Got together with the San Francisco Giants clubhouse manager, and there was a Pablo Sandoval jersey that was missing. I think Johnny Cueto. Also a bag of jelly beans, which factors into this conversation. They were missing, and all the signs pointed back to Coors Field, like the last stop, the last destination. And slowly but surely, a lot of other teams have got, phone calls called around the NL West. There's a Clayton Kershaw jersey missing, Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, Matt Chapman for the A's, And again, all of those signs pointed back to Coors Field during that pandemic season when the Rockies did a really great job in not having to furlough a lot of their employees. But that did mean they were going to have to pay people that maybe were ushers or maybe they worked in ticketing.
Ooh.
They were going to have to do laundry. They were going to have to do other things to stay on staff. Say, well, we'll pay you, but we're just going to have you do other jobs, maybe security detail that you might not be used to.
Analytics guys doing laundry. You got a whole thing.
Yeah, laundry guys doing analytics.
Yeah,
that shouldn't have happened, but those wires do get crossed from time to time. And again, the phone calls kept going out. They looked back at the cameras. They were looking at different gates. They saw some things, but it wasn't much of anything. I think a couple people got called in. And then eventually, they actually realized this was going down at DIA.
Oh.
It was not Coors Field at all. It was not the Rockies. Rockies are completely off the hook. And even though I'm perpetuating this story here and telling it in this way, in this fashion, the ending is, no, somebody at DIA was, when the planes were coming in, usually this person was waiting until the plane was leaving.
Sure.
He would go underneath the hull, open up the bags, take out a couple, choice jerseys, because the clubhouse manager and the Giants noticed, wait a minute, the bag's zipped up a little bit different. The bags are the pants are kind of thrown in there slightly askew, and they, these people who work in the clubhouse, you would think, these are guys, and there's gonna be pants are dirty. No, it's pristine. They work so hard. In the story, there is even one point where Tiny Ponarelli, he does an amazing job for the Rockies clubhouse, where he leaves the ballpark at 1 and then he shows back up the next day at 5. That's normal.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, that's normal for him to just get 3.5 hours of sleep before the next day's game.
Did they find the individual responsible?
They did. A couple items turned up on eBay.
Yeah, there you go.
But the eBay person was getting it from somebody else, so it was changing hand a couple times. The Cueto jersey was sold with the bag of jelly beans, so that was, again, another... I don't know how they know that the jelly beans were missing, unless they were very special jelly beans for Johnny Cueto.
I have a feeling Cueto probably knows where his jelly beans are or aren't at all times.
Look, when you think about the all-time greatest people who love jelly beans, it goes Ronald Reagan and then Johnny Cueto. They're 1 and 2 jelly bean-wise, no?
I'll put Cueto 1 then. How about that?
Oh, you're going Cueto 1 on your depth chart?
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
And I'm a Cardinals fan, so think about that. That's crazy. I'm surprised that stuff doesn't happen more often, by the way. I guess this is why, because they always seem to find the person. And
it's something that the guy gets caught, and it's not a caper. It's not even worth reporting. Someone tried stealing some stuff. We caught him.
Yeah.
The end. You're right. That happens all the time. Whereas this one was a lot more involved in, wait, what's going on? There were other teams involved in it. So the final haul was a pair of Mookie Betts batting gloves, 2 Fernando Tatis jerseys, a pair of Tatis batting gloves, Johnny Cueto jersey, Sandoval jersey, Matt Chapman jersey, 3 Cody Bellinger jerseys, 3 Clayton Kershaw jerseys.
Someone's not keeping up with the times.
And 3 Mookie Betts jerseys. So that was when they came to town. The guy was getting sloppy. He's like, I can't wait for the series to be over. Maybe he wasn't working that shift and was like, I just need them now. A Joe Kelly jersey, again, really getting sloppy.
Really getting sloppy.
Really getting bad. And a pair of Mookie Betts batting gloves.
Those Bellinger jerseys really depreciated in value.
Ooh, they really did.
Hope he sold those quick.
Yeah. So, the guy kind of got a relative slap
Joe
on the
Kelly
wrist.
Jersey.
But the Joe Kelly one. Batting gloves, okay, that's cool. That works. Also, I'm not sure how you would know batting gloves, because I don't think guys, some of them have, more detail than others on them, but it's not the same with the customized cleats.
Sure.
That would, get a big dollar. I think those items, before they got to eBay by a real seller, they were on Mercari, allegedly. So, Mercari, when you use promo code DNVR, your first stolen item from DIA is 15% off.
Wow, look at that. But we're not liable.
No, we have nothing to do about that. So I thought that was just an interesting story that ended up coming out from that pandemic season, because we are now, it being March 1st, we are now in that range for being 3 years from everything shutting down, right? Isn't that crazy?
It's really been 3 years. That is hard to believe.
Yeah.
That is extremely hard to believe.
I think it was the March 11th was when the Jazz came off the field and Rudy Gobert's like, cool, let me just rub some phones on my butt and cough all over him.
That's exactly what he did.
And he's actually hasn't gotten a ton of crap for that since then. you think about it like.
Well,
and
depending
maybe
on who
he
you
will.
ask on basketball
Well,
Twitter, he's still directly responsible for the COVID outbreak.
Yeah. But if you really think about like at the time, that was obviously a very huge story. And it was like, whoa, dude, you clearly didn't take that seriously. But I think so many people in our country and the world didn't take it seriously that he's like, well, he's the face of being lackadaisical.
Totally. Talk about things that didn't age well. I think within a month, I think he deeply regretted that.
And then 2 days later, March 13th, Friday the 13th, oddly enough, that was when it all shut down. And I was still a teacher at that time in a high school. And I said to everyone, half jokingly but half serious, see you in August. And I was right. I was right. Not happy about that, but just reading the tea leaves, this thing was serious.
I just want to say, put a bow on our story. I'm really glad so much has gone so poorly for the Rockies. The reputation's taken a hit. I'm really glad that we don't have to, and they're thieves, and they steal your jerseys. I'm glad this story has found a different ending.
Yes.
The best part about it is they'll wash it first, though.
Yeah, they'll wash it first.
They'll wash it,
for
then
you,
steal
and then
it.
they'll steal it.
And then they will do that. Bly Madris is a player that he went to Colorado Mesa University, really good baseball school out there on the Western Slope. His birthday is February 29th. He's only been able to celebrate his birthday 6 times. So is he 6 years old?
He's 6 years old. That's correct.
He's 6 years
I've
old.
asked scientists about this. That means he's 6.
When do you celebrate your birthday if you were born February 29th? The 28th? Or do you celebrate it today on
No,
March 1st?
you have to wait.
You just don't get to.
Yeah, you just get fewer birthdays. You just have to wait till it comes back around.
I have a friend of mine who, he's like my father's age, but his wife was born on February 29th. So,
Oh, what a lucky break.
So he like jokes, he's like, yeah, I'm married to an 18-year-old.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So which
Doesn't have to get
is
her
true.
gifts every year, right?
No, I guess not. I don't know. You hear? I feel like February 28th is the day you would celebrate because it's got the February in it. Although it is the day after February 28th. I don't know.
I think you
What's
have to
the
be 28.
debate?
I have to be 28.
It has
That's
to be,
how I
right?
would do it. But again, I still think that they don't get to. They don't get to celebrate it unless it's a leap year.
Man,
All you do is celebrate both days. That's
No,
all
you
do.
gotta wait, man. No birthday this
talk
year.
about two ends of the spectrum and extremes. You're going 2 days. You're going none.
You know those people that want to stretch their birthday celebration into a whole week. These people want to,
These people.
you don't even have a birthday, and here I am celebrating it on the 28th. Unbelievable.
It's also such a weird thing just to add half instead of just adding an extra day or something, like half a day.
It's definitely a
just so weird.
suboptimal system.
Yeah. Maybe there's a time like at 11:59 on February 28th.
Platform 2
There's
3/4.
something. What if you lived on like a time zone, like where the time changes? If you like walked, there
I'll
could be a
go to your
workaround.
party, but I'm not getting you a gift.
If you were born on February 29th.
Yeah, and you asked me to a party on the 28th, I'll attend it, but I'm not getting you a gift.
But
It's
here's
not-
the
it's not
catch.
your birthday.
Here's the catch. Do you need to make up for it because they didn't get anything?
You do have to get them
That's-
really good gifts.
That's
every
my question.
29th, yeah.
So
You
like
gotta
every
step
4
it up.
years, you got to get them like, here's your brand new Ferrari, bro.
That's
Sorry
right.
for missing out your last 3 birthdays. Like,
That's right.
But how would you know? You'd have to really know that they were born on February 29th. Otherwise, if it's like the last week of February or first weekend of March, you're like, oh, is this a February 29th kind of thing going on here? I got to be cautious. Maybe I don't get anything for this person.
Yeah, no, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. And this is why, and people have asked me this before, this is why I simply don't have any friends with leap year birthdays. Too complicated, and you're not worth it.
Only 16 big leaguers have been born on February 29th. 16.
Yeah, because it's a fake date, Patrick. That's why.
also, are you like actively going out and asking people, when's your birthday?
What I'm
In
saying,
late February, yeah.
What I'm saying, once I find out that your birthday is on the 29th, I'm out.
Well, here's the thing. On Facebook, you could probably set your birthday for nobody actually remembers birthdays. They just go on
This is
Facebook
true.
and go, oh, dude, hey, happy belated. It was a week ago because you haven't gone to Facebook for a week. So if your birthday is February 29th, does that even register in the Facebook algorithm? Or are people who are born on February 29th ball-faced lying and telling people, hey, February 28th? And you're
This
like,
is what I'm
wait a
talking
minute.
about, Patrick. These people can't be trusted.
25% of the people I'm friends with on Facebook were born on February 28th.
I don't believe
Some
it.
of you were born on leap years. We see you out there.
What about people that are born on February 30th?
Do you want to tell them? Or I had to deal with the Jamie Carroll thing.
So yeah, here they call it a leap year. We'll talk about it off air. We'll talk about
Great.
it
I
off air.
appreciate this very much.
we will.
If somebody wants to give me a calendar, More than happy to look at it.
I will.
Brendan, you did an amazing job.
Oh, thanks, man.
You are the DNVR Rockies Danny Ainge.
Oh, wow.
Do you know why? Do you know why you're the Danny
Why
Ainge
am I the Danny
of
Ainge?
DNVR?
Why?
So Danny Ainge, great basketball player. Was he ever an All-Star? May have been.
I actually don't know if Danny Ainge was.
If
an
he
All-Star.
was, like, we're talking like 1 or 2 years. I'll say 2 years.
Probably.
I'm gonna go 2 years for Danny Ainge as an All-Star. He might have just been like a career 6 man. He won a couple rings.
1988.
So 1 year.
I think he's a 1-year All-Star.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Good for me. And he was also a second baseman with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh.
So one of the few people who was a 2-sport athlete, often forgotten. You start the list with Bo Jackson, you go to Deion Sanders, and then eventually at the bottom of the list you have Danny Ainge, Toronto Blue Jays,
didn't know
Boston
that.
Celtic.
I didn't know that. I never wanted to be associated with Danny Ainge before, but I'll wear this one proudly.
Now
It was
you're-
fun, man.
You're
It's good
okay.
to
You're
see
okay
you
being our
again.
Ainge.
To
It's
me,
fun.
you're my Danny Ainge because you're just very fundamental.
Oh,
You're
okay.
the fundamental
very
structure
fundamental.
of DNVR.
Because I love the Celtics. Because I bleed green.
I mean, you're the biggest Jason Tatum fan I know.
That's right.
Well, for some fun and mental things, go to at @DNVR_Rockies. At Patrick D. Lyons is where I'm at on Twitter.
Oh, I'm also on Twitter. At Brendan Vogt. It's my name.
And you hear because you have so many underscores, you just go ahead, take it away. It's actually at Jamie Carroll 1993 on Twitter. You have another handle too, though. What's that one?
My personal handle doesn't matter. Follow at the DNVR_Rapids. That's the one I care about.
Oh,
the
look
most.
at it. Nice plug.
No. I
Nice
tell
plug.
people your handle. It's at Yahir_G_Vasquez.
That's actually wrong. It's Yahir_Vasquez_.
Yeah, I'm not remembering that.
even better.
Yeah,
Even
nobody
better.
does, and nobody can even spell my real name. So just call me Yaya. We're
I just
good.
call you Yaya.
Yaya, Jamie Carroll fan, 1993. You got to get that handle now.
Yeah, Jamie Carroll. Yeah.
I love it. I'm down with that. And I hope you're down with us tomorrow because we've built a lot of momentum, but unfortunately, you know what they say about momentum when it comes to podcasts, Brendan?
I do know, but it's better when you say it.
It's only as good as your next show.
There you
So we
go.
will talk to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the DNVR Sports channel on YouTube.